Well, I'm going to answer the question, but let me just note that there are different factions on the left. And I think the way that this is kind of being discussed in a way that just kind of generalizes everyone on the left is kind of unfair. But putting that aside.
Oh, yes, Anna, I agree. The left is a big term and probably too big for its own good. When people say the left inspired this guy to kill, it's a general statement suggesting that you guys use such hyperbole and, propaganda, lies, that you choose words that logically inspire people to kill. Much like you chose the word execute when describing police protecting their lives against criminals. You said that they executed people, and that led one of your fans to kill 4 cops. And now we have a guy who's reacting to the rhetoric of calling people Nazis and calling people fascists. This happens all over the left. But yeah, the left is a big group. Some people would call me a person on the left. There are many people on the left who would want to kill me and would celebrate my death. So if your group is so big, it's like, hey, Sally's in a book club. Oh, really? Is it a big one? Yeah, there's 12 moms in it. It's a very sweet book club of moms. And so you all get along? No, some of the women in the book club want to kill some of the other women in the book club. Well, maybe calling this one club is kind of not nuanced enough.
I do think that we have an overall problem. I think what happened is a symptom of a bigger issue that we have, not just in this country, but I'm seeing it happen globally, where there's just this dehumanization of people based on their political views. And on top of that, the devaluing of human life.
Dehumanization, that sounds terrible. Cenk just recently called Israelis a bunch of pigs, and Cenk calls Republicans monsters literally all the time.
The Joe Bidens of the world and every stupid reporter in Washington keeps saying, oh, bipartisanship is so important. You need to hold hands with Republicans and say how great they are. No deal. No deal. We need to fight Republicans and we need to beat Republicans. If you see a Democrat kissing a Republican's ass, know that they are not on your side. Go fight them. These people are goddamn monsters.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks.
And if you force women to have the babies of rapists, you punish the women. That's all these monsters care about, is punishing women and controlling them like they used to, like the good old days. Make America great again, when men controlled women and had them under their thumb and wouldn't let them out, give them any freedom at all. So your body's my body. I control it whenever I want, and I'm gonna get tyrannical government, big government to step in and destroy you. That's what Republicans are. They're sick people. Every time I hear Biden say how much he loves Republicans, it makes me want to vomit. You piece of crap, fight them. Fight them. God damn it, you're never gonna fight them. Then get the hell out of the way. Let us do it. Progressives will fight them. Get out of the way, you loser. You goddamn loser, fight them. Look at what they're doing to little girls. Look at what they're doing to women all over the country. Fight them, you monster, you idiot. Fight them. No, every Democrat lays down. Pelosi lays down. And she supported an anti-choice Democrat, Henry Cuellar. Yay, after Roe. She supports anti-choice candidates. Pelosi's a monster.
You have a video called Right-Wing Monsters Fail to Discredit Story of 10-Year-Old Abortion Patient. And this woman comes out here and is like, I'm against dehumanization. Isn't that kind of a problem?
Right, I mean, we've been seeing images of people being butchered, children being butchered endlessly on social media over the last nearly 2 years.
Think of the children. That is another person talking about the innocent children of Dresden in the 1940s without mentioning the Nazis, or what Germany was up to, or what they started, or all of their war crimes, or it's an unbelievable feat. Think of the children in a vacuum without context and without mentioning the fact that those children's parents or grandparents elected a terrorist group that started a war. But no, Devon, don't worry about all that. That's like adult talk. I'm here to virtue signal about children. Oh really? Let's get advanced. What do you think about the Israeli children that were harmed and killed and get targeted all the time? I'm in favor of them too. Oh my God, so you're just like a child avenger? And your thoughts on To Catch a Predator and all the children that are being targeted for being raped? I don't like that because I'm pro-children. Oh my God, you're kind of amazing.
Prior to that, I mean, the rhetoric that devalues human life, I think, has played a role into it. But also, I just think that there's this dumb idea that all you need to do is like get rid of or take out some of the prominent figures on the political side of the aisle that you disagree with, and that'll somehow solve the issue. No, that doesn't solve the issue. What it does is it makes the situation in various countries where this type of political violence plays out far worse. Now you're hearing talk of retaliation in a violent way. When it comes to the Trump administration, you're hearing, policies that are being proposed that would limit the legitimate political speech of Americans. I am concerned about that. What that disgusting murderer did is he pushed for this country to devolve further. And I wish that cooler heads would prevail, but at the same time, I don't begrudge people who are angry. I mean, that poor wife and her 2 children witnessed Charlie Kirk get shot and killed in the neck.
He was killed in the neck? Okay, so Anna is not as crazy as the other people because she said something very basic and you'd think would go without saying, which is I'm against political violence and also I'm in favor of free speech. The problem is if your speech is leading to violence, and she is willfully obtuse about her company, Cenk, all the people, their speech, what it leads to, their dehumanization. And we're about to get into the word fascist, which is a trigger word, literally, written on one of the bullets was, "Hey fascist, catch." As in, I am killing you. You are about to eat this bullet because I think you're a fascist. So that word is powerful enough for an assassin to write it on a bullet that he used to murder a man. So now the name of the game is, if you use that word, in many people's minds, it's a justification to violence. Because fascist, I think Mussolini, I think Hitler. I think the worst possible reading of that word I'm going to apply to the person that I just heard it about. And Cenk and Anna call everybody a fascist. So a Nazi, that's even worse. It's the same thing. If someone is a Nazi, oh, you're supposed to punch them. You're supposed to kill them. If someone's a fascist, obviously it's the same thing. This isn't even like a guess. The guy wrote this on the bullet. He wrote other stuff, but this is clearly one of them, and it's clearly enough for him. The whole movement, anti-fascist, Antifa, that whole movement is based on the premise that if I can label you a fascist, I can be violent to you. And these people, knowing that, use the word fascist all the time. And it's a lie, and it's stupid, and the reason they do it is to justify violence. And now Anna is doing a scramble job to try to distance herself and not be accountable for any of this. The same way they're not accountable for inciting Gavin Long. Through their language, their framing, their lies, led that guy to go kill 4 innocent people.
I don't begrudge her at all for being furious. No. I can't even imagine where my headspace would be at right now if that happened to my husband.
Right. Andrew Wilson, where were you when you heard about Charlie Kirk? And what is your view of the fallout from this?
Yeah, I was sitting with my wife watching TV. So the thing is I remember this picture circulating around of Charlie Kirk. He was debating the incoming president of the Oxford Union. And they were all smiles and handshakes. And, by the next day, this guy was saying the most insane rhetoric about how he basically had it coming. So how many of these leftists have murderous intent? When we show up to have a conversation with them. We show up to debate our views. We show up to in some way engage with them. How many of them have seething murderous intent behind their eyes? And they don't really want to do any of that. They really want you dead. And that is the biggest demonstration of that, by the way, in that one single picture. You have Anna Kasparian here, and she's talking about this. The Young Turks called Charlie Kirk a fascist how many times? The Young Turks played into this rhetoric how much? They went out of their way to do so.
I mean, look at this dead, lifeless stare from Anna. So Anna cannot be responsible for any of her actions, and she thinks she's a fucking angel. So this guy's like, look, you're sitting here talking about we got to be careful with language. You guys are the last people to say that. The Young Turks have already inspired the killing of multiple people. They fling the word out, fascist, Nazi, monster, all the time. They have a huge platform. With great platform comes apparently zero responsibility. And even now, Anna will not acknowledge any of this.
Reuben recently called him out for doing it. So
I just called him a fascist.
Hang on.
I've literally never. I don't even call Trump a fascist.
And so Anna says, I have never called him a fascist. And it's going to be pointed out by this other guy that but you're boss does, and your company does, and you're the executive producer of this show, which does. And I have never called Charlie Kirk a fascist, so now the conversation is just about Charlie Kirk and whether or not you personally called him a fascist. Huh. Well, here's a video from 3 years ago with a picture of Charlie Kirk on it. Republicans admit fascist dreams. Republicans go full fascist, daydreaming about unlimited political power. Here's the about. MAGA goons like Charlie Kirk, Steve Bannon, and others have openly come out as supporters of fascism. Okay, so let me just explain to you. That's your company, Anna. That video is sitting online. You are lying about them. They are not openly coming out of supporters of fascism. If you were to ask them that, they would say, no, you are lying. So it is a lie. It is a damaging lie. It is a dangerous lie. And for some 22-year-old douchebag who's impressionable and dumb, he takes that as a call to arms, as does Antifa, as does any of those losers. So, okay, that picture of that guy and the word fascist on that guy, okay, he's a fascist, let's go get him. That's my target. And so for Anna to now try to squirm her way out of this and say, I personally didn't call him a fascist, is insane. Your company does and has all the time. You also call him a racist. Charlie Kirk's RNC moment reeked of racism. That's a lie. But whatever. Republicans now resorting to blatant fascism. Cenk, this is why Don Jr. is a fascist. Republicans are fascist is the name of this video. Here's Anna on rising fascism. Everybody is a fascist, according to Anna.
Fascism is back in fashion. And to mark the occasion, we're launching the first ever No Filter Fascist Week. This is your ultimate guide to aspiring dictators who think democracy is for losers. First, we head south, where Jair Bolsonaro is the frontrunner for the presidency of Brazil. Next stop, Europe, where, if memory serves, fascism was a big thing in like the 40s or something. And wouldn't you know it, Germany, Italy, and Austria have far-right movements. In Italy, Matteo Salvini runs the far-right party, the League, while looking like a really unfunny Judd Apatow. Austria's Freedom Party served up the most authentic fascism because it was started by, actual Nazis. Germany has a far-right movement called Alternative for Germany, whose logo could not look more like a Nike swoosh. That's all from the Fascist Week. Come to think of it, it seems like pretty much every week lately has been Fascist Week.
We just gave America to a fascist. Dave Rubin backs fascist madman. Full fascist, you named your show. Laura Ingraham and Steve King go full fascist. Fascist sheriff threatens to assault man. So it's one of your favorite words, you throw it around endlessly, and the fact that it was justification enough for an assassin to write it on a bullet to make that point, which was, I'm doing this because I think you are this word. And Anna is like, nothing to do with me, I have no part in this, but you actually do. You've called a million people a fascist. It's in print, it's sitting online, it's not hard to find. It's ridiculous that you're pretending you don't do this.
These people aren't like fascists. They are fascists. So at this point, I don't want to hear any talk from Republicans about, oh no, guys, we just have simple disagreements. We think we should bust into people's houses, take their kids away from them because they love their kids and they were treating their kids well. We should make the decisions for them about how to treat their kids. And then if they disagree with us, we should make sure they can't leave the state and then stuff them into prison. And in Idaho, life in prison for loving your children. No, Republicans are ugly, they're immoral, and they're fascist. I don't want anything to do with them. That's the reality of what Republicans are today in America. So no, I don't want any BS happy talk from stupid reporters and Democrats in Washington telling us, oh, let's just all get along. I can't tell who's right or wrong. Well, the right wing or the left wing, I can't tell. I can tell. The Republicans hate our freedom. They hate our families, and they hate our right to choose whatever we want and our equality, and they hate justice. And I don't want to deal with fascists, and that's exactly what these people are.
Young Turks called Charlie Kirk a fascist how many times? The Young Turks played into this rhetoric how much? They went out of their way to do so. Rubin recently called him out for doing it. So
I've never called him a
hang on.
I've
I
literally
didn't
never.
interrupt
I
you.
don't even
didn't
call
interrupt
Trump
you
a
once.
fascist.
I did.
And she's so obtuse, like the larger point, and it's so scandalous. She just mentioned her first thing that she said was, we have to watch our rhetoric. To use dehumanizing language, it leads people to violence. That's a bad thing. Charlie Kirk is one person that was shot. It's not specifically about Charlie Kirk, it's about you using that language to anybody, to demonize any of them. So if you do a search for Nazi or fascist on their channel, it's going to be riddled with lies where they use those words on people who are not Nazis or fascists. And they wash their hands of it and they go, yeah, but we liked playing that, game. That's the exaggeration talk that we do. I have to turn you into Voldemort so I can be the hero. I want to be Harry Potter.
I didn't interrupt you once, lady.
But
You'll
you
have a
can't
chance
make
to
things
talk.
up about what I've said about
You
Charlie
can talk
Kirk.
when I'm done talking, like I was respectful enough to let you do. So the thing is like, yes, they do. This network does do that, and these leftists do that, and they set all the rhetoric up in the world to make sure something like this happened, and they were dancing on the grave of this guy before he was even cold. I have tweets from Destiny which are insane. The leftists have gone off the reservation. And it's time for us to stop pretending that it's not their rhetoric which is leading to these types of assassinations, because it is. I don't want to hear about factions. All of you guys are doing this. All of you guys have the same type of rhetoric which leads to this, or the networks you work for do.
Well, Anna, let me let you respond to that before I bring Cornell
I've never called him. I have never called Charlie Kirk a fascist, number one.
Number one, he just made the broad statement that you guys play this game all the time. It's not just about Charlie Kirk or that one word. You have smeared Charlie Kirk. It's on your channel. You have the word fascist right next to that fucking guy's face. And the point is hit home over and over again. You've called him a fascist. But it's not just him. You call everybody a freaking fascist. And so Anna, guess where she goes next to avoid accountability here? It's the most retarded point I've ever seen. Watch.
In fact, if
boss?
anything, we have received a tremendous amount. I don't remember Trump. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. In fact,
you just don't
Cenk and I
recall?
got into a
You just don't
debate
recall?
about whether or not.
Okay, your company calls him a fascist, period. Multiple examples of it. But you call him a racist, you call him all sorts of things. You've smeared the guy endlessly, but she's avoiding the larger point, which is that she knows that her company over the past forever years has used the word fascist to describe people who are not fascists. Over and over again, it's a meme, it's a joke. And even after Antifa, even after they know that this word inspires violence, they still do it. They don't care. Go look. Look at any one of their videos. They call people fascists all the time.
Hold on. I don't remember Cenk calling Charlie Kirk a fascist. He called
Very
Trump a
evasive.
fascist, and he and I got into a debate about that. But to lump in everyone on the left together, I don't agree with Destiny on anything these days. Destiny is totally unhinged in his rhetoric, 100%. I have been critical of Charlie Kirk's political views, but going around referring to people as Nazis, turning the temperature up, I did not engage in that. So,
Oh, come on. Come on. Anna, this you? From earlier, a couple months ago? When I see Israel's flag in your profile, you immediately lose credibility. Modern day Nazis. So this is the exact thing you said you didn't just do. You do call people Nazis. That's a lie. The Jews in Israel are not Nazis. You labeled them Nazis because you are more than dog whistling. You're dog yelling the idea that it's okay to be against or be violent towards Israelis. If they're Nazis, Anna, modern day Nazis, oh sweet, this is my chance to fight the Nazis. So you completely do this, and now you're lying about it because you're a bitch. Or sorry, a weak, cowardly bitch.
but going around referring to people as Nazis, turning the temperature up, I did not engage in that. So
You didn't? You're turning the temperature up on everybody in Israel? Everybody who has the Israeli flag? That's not the only time you've done that, by the way, but you do that all the time. So think of the cognitive dissonance. She knows it's bad to unfairly call someone a Nazi. She also, part of her brain knows she does that. And then, does she not know that we know that she does that? Like, Anna, what is happening in your brain? Why are you not able to decipher that you are 100% guilty of doing this?
I just want you to at least be fair about
Okay.
what I've actually said
there's
about
there's
Charlie
no
Kirk.
actual reason for us to believe leftists at this point. It's very clear that while they come out with a handshake and wanting to have these
I'm not a
conversations
leftist.
they claim.
Okay, so, oh my God, the distancing. Oh God, it's desperation time. She said, I'm not a leftist. So in every possible universe, in every possible reading of the word leftist, she is a leftist. She is generally on the left. She is a progressive, self-proclaimed. She has been espousing leftist viewpoints for decades. Anna Kasparian is absolutely, most definitely, it's not even remotely controversial to say she's on the left. Therefore, you're a leftist. Anna, in her retarded snake-like manner, is trying to pretend like, no, leftist means people to the left of me. They're the leftists. I'm just a liberal or a progressive. I'm doing like a musical chairs game of wordplay. So I want to avoid accountability and say, oh no, it's those other people on the left of me. They're the leftists. I'm not part of the group you're talking about. When you 100% are, you do use fascist and Nazis and the word execution to inspire and incite people to violence. This is what you do. You dancing Israeli 9/11 truther. Building 7, am I right? It's insane. Her argument now is going to say, there are people to the left of me, so therefore I cannot be on the left. It's kind of like a 17-year-old saying, I am not young. What? Well, there are people that are younger than me. Okay, but I'm saying generally you're young. No, but there are 13-year-olds.
They claim, right? In reality, what they're doing is they have murderous intent, and they'll celebrate you the day that you die. The next day, they'll go after your wife. Thousands of social media accounts going after her wife, or this guy's wife, after she made a speech about her poor husband. Yes, it is your side that's doing that. Like it or not, it's your side that's doing that. There's no equivalency between the right and the left on this.
Think of how emasculating and just ridiculous it is for Anna to say, I am not on the left. Like, what? Anna, where are you, you enlightened centrist? You are so clearly on the left. And this is like a loose definitional thing that he's throwing out there. He's like, your side. So like, he's just saying generally, people coming from your side, the side that demonized Charlie Kirk, who are against Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk's on the right. He wouldn't not say he's on the right. You, like a coward, are pretending you're not on the left because the left have been inspired to kill Charlie Kirk using tactics that you engage in all the time. And she's like, the gaslighting is crazy. I'm not on the left? What?
It's your side that's doing that. There's no equivalency between the right and the left on this. Yeah, okay, fine. You're not a leftist. I'm sorry. Are you on the left wing? Are you a Democrat? Are you more of a Democrat than you are a Republican? Do you move towards those types of issues?
I'm not a Democrat. I actually registered as an independent.
Ridiculous. I'm not a Democrat. You only align with Democrats 99% of the issues. And the only reason you're claiming now that you're not a Democrat is to be purer, more pure than the Democrats, to say, I'm to the left of the Democrats. Anna, you're not to the right of the Democrats. It's so insane that she's trying to pretend like, the reason I'm not a Democrat is because I'm not on the left? No, it's because you're more on the left than the Democrats. It's so scandalous. Holy shit, she is caught red-handed. And he just said, look, are you more of a Democrat than a Republican? But she's like squirming around like, no, I'm not this exact word. I'm very nuanced. You can't put a label on me.
I'm not a Democrat. I actually registered as an independent.
And you vote Democrat.
Fine. You register as an independent.
Come on, you gotta at least know what my views are if you're gonna attack me.
Oh. Okay, Anna, let's try ChatGPT on knowing what your views are. Is Anna Kasparian on the left? Yes, Anna Kasparian is firmly on the left. She is the longtime co-host and producer of The Young Turks, which is a progressive, left-leaning political commentary show, obviously. Like, what are we doing, Anna? Come on. How sad is that?
Right, let me bring in. All right, let me bring in.
I've been attacked by the left over the last 3 years.
All right, let me bring in.
No. Look. I've been attacked by the left. No. Let me just at least address that.
That's called left-on-left violence, Anna. You're both on the left. So just because you're criticized from someone further than the left than you is of no significance and doesn't absolve you that you're on this side and you engage in the tactics that incite violence.
I've been attacked viciously by leftists over the last 3 years because of the fact that I want to engage in this type of dialogue, because of the fact I was willing to sit down with Charlie Kirk and with Tucker Carlson and Ben Shapiro. I'm willing to have conversations, and I don't go around labeling people as fascist and racist and Nazis just because I disagree with them.
Fucking ridiculous, Anna. You label Charlie Kirk a fascist and a racist. You label next to everyone a fascist. I can't believe people are so brazen, as if someone can't do a search on this.
Just the organization you work for does?
At least understand what my political views are. Listen, I'm not going to be blamed for what...
For the show that you executive produce and are associated with and stand behind and are clearly a part of and in cahoots with.
Listen what?
Everyone in that company has to say, anyone in that company has to say,
The
I'm
head
an
of that
individual.
company?
We are supposed
The
to
head of
judge
that
people
company, your co-host?
based on
Come on.
individuals.
So they're inspiring violence. It's Cenk and the people I work with, the people I pay, the people that are part of the group that I stand behind. I wash my hands of what they're saying. I'm here for my own personal damage control. Oh my God, this is scandalous.
He did
I
not
am
go
judging
around
you. I'm
calling
judging-
Charlie Kirk
I'm judging
a fascist
you
and a
and saying
Nazi.
that you-
Yes, he did. There's a video, Anna. It's like, if you dive into all the videos, you'll find more, trust me. He did not do that. He didn't? Then what's this? What is that, Anna? What is it? It's in the title, it's in the thumbnail, it's in the description in the video, it's in the dialogue and the rhetoric in the video. So you clearly did call him a fascist. You called him a fascist, your company. And he was shot by a guy who wrote on the bullet, "Hey fascist, catch." You don't see a correlation here. You don't see a little chain of events.
You don't have good reasoning skills if it's the case that you think, oh my
Well,
God,
I'm judging
you can't be
for
calling
being
people
so
Nazis. You
simple-minded
can't be
that
calling
you're-
people
no,
Nazis while
no
your
one's
boss
calling you a
does all the
Nazi.
time.
Why are you making that up? You're just making
Because
it
your-
up. You're just
No,
making
your
it up.
boss-
We're
your boss
all the
has many
same. That's how
times. Your boss
simple-minded
has
you
many
are.
times.
You're all
It's not
the same.
simple-minded
Okay,
to
then
point out
everyone
the
on the
truth.
right is just like Dylan Roof.
All right.
A mention of Dylan Roof, we really have gotten to a point where it's all hands on deck. Bring up Dylan Roof. What in the fuck? And this guy comes back with a very accurate point, which is like, I don't work with Dylan Roof. I'm not the executive producer of the Dylan Roof show. So I don't know Dylan Roof. I don't stand behind him. You do stand behind people that use Nazi and fascist. It's on the channel. And not in a million years are you getting away from this accusation. It's proven. It's sitting there. And Anna knows, she knows what this means, by the way. She knows she has no leg to stand on here. So that's why she's flustered and juvenile and acting like she's cornered, because she is.
Let me
Simple-minded that
let
is.
me bring in.
for a
I want to
company
bring in
headed by
Cornel
Dylan
West. I want to bring in Cornel
Shut up.
West. I want to bring in.
And that's why she said, shut up, because he's like, please stop, let me tap out. Shut up. Do I work for a company headed by Dylan Roof? It's classic. And it's like, Anna, you brought up a guy that no one is behind, stands behind, is associated with in any way. Because you're just like, oh my God, look over here, Dylan Roof. Meanwhile, you and Cenk are completely to blame for using this rhetoric. Whether or not this shooter in particular was watching you or Hassan, it's a general criticism of the left. And it doesn't even matter about this shooter, it's about the next 10 shooters that we know will be incited. And it's like, Anna, how about some self-reflection? How about like, wow, if people are killing people just because they think they're a fascist, we should probably be pretty conservative with how we use that word. Maybe we'll use it on Mussolini and Hitler and nobody else. But oh, that would kind of ruin the fun, wouldn't it?
Cornel.
Yeah,
Wait,
you shut up,
please
lady.
let Cornel come in now.
And so, just so you guys know, it's such a crazy and clusterfuck of a word that nobody, A, knows the definition of. They just sort of loosely know the connotation that it's a bad word and that it's kind of like you're Hitler or Mussolini. So you're kind of genocidal. You're kind of a killer of a mass number of humans if you're a fascist. Actual definition is authoritarian ultranationalism. Puts the nation, race, or state above all else. Okay, well, so anyone who is pro the state, they just call a fascist, which is bizarre. It's like, that's a patriot, that's something good. Centralized dictatorial power, one leader or ruling party, no meaningful democracy. None of these things apply to Charlie Kirk, by the way, obviously, to make a point. The people Anna and Cenk call a fascist, the people that the killer thought was a fascist, he wasn't at all. Suppression of dissent, censorship, outlawing opposition, crushing unions, jailing enemies. By the way, Cenk is a union crusher. Charlie Kirk doesn't want to jail enemies. He's not in favor of censorship or outlawing opposition. He seeks out opposition and does the exact opposite of censorship. He engages with them in conversation. That's what he did. So he's clearly not a fascist at all. He actively partook in democracy. He's trying to get out the vote. He believed in the Constitution, all that crap. Militarism and violence, glorifies war, strength, and sacrifice, uses paramilitary groups. Turning Point, do they have brown shirts? No, they don't. It was more like a Christian youth group, and he didn't promote violence in the slightest. Mythic past and unity, appeals to a golden age, demands cultural conformity, scapegoats outsiders. They would say, oh, Make America Great Again is appealing to a golden age. So it's all pathetic. It's just a game. It's just, I don't really know if this applies. I'm just going to sort of say you're a fascist and then let's let the chips fall where they may. In common parlance, this is the casual layman's use of the word. It just means you're an authoritarian jerk and I don't like you. It's a generic insult for right-wing figures. Trump, DeSantis, Charlie Kirk, etc., whether or not they actually fit the definition. Sometimes even for non-political control freaks. Basically, the word slid from a precise description of a 20th century political ideology to a general synonym for bully, conservative, or buzzkill, which is scary and informative because it's basically interchangeable with a conservative. And so it's basically an open call that you're okay to be violent to any conservative, which is the vibe that they've picked up on, both in this political assassination and terror, and the reaction and the acceptance of it. You have the Luigi killing a guy and they're all fine with it. And there's a ton of them that are totally fine with killing Charlie Kirk. Why? Because he's a conservative. But we'll just call him a fascist and then, okay, now we can kill him. Like, that's the game. And Anna wants no part of it, will not accept any accountability, even if she were to see this and be like, Anna, this is embarrassing at this point. It's embarrassing. She's too far committed to change, and she wouldn't even know how to if she wanted to, and she doesn't want to. So she just sits there with cognitive dissonance and gets out there and goes, using violent rhetoric and dehumanizing is bad. Oh, whoops, I do it all the time, and so does my company. Hope no one notices. Well, Anna, we noticed. And it's shameful, and you're a hack, an amateur, and you have a hook nose. I hope you and all the people like you are held accountable now before more people have to die.
There's something louder than screaming, tension building my breathing, always holding my tongue. If you could only read my mind, you don't know what I keep inside. And darker than an endless night, and nothing